right, so this is math lesson 36. Now you guys are going to see that I have on the board here our work all the way that we did on Monday, okay? Because we are going to take what we learned Monday and apply it to what we are learning today. So this is, I want you to pay close attention to what I'm saying. All right, so if we take and put a fraction bar right here, we have the fraction 6/12, right? If I put a fraction bar right here, I have the fraction 8/20. And if I put a fraction bar right here, I now have the fraction 9/15. Now there is something that is similar on all three of these fractions, 6/12, 8/20, and 9/15. And what is similar about all of them is that they can be reduced to lowest terms. Let me show you what I mean by that. All right, so if I have a fraction right here, I have this square, and I divide my square into 4 parts, and I color in one part, I have 1/4. I color in another part, I have 2/4. But I can look at that and see, not only do I have 2/4, but I've colored in a whole half of my square. So if you take 2 and you find your factors for 2, my factors for 2 are 1 and 2. And I take 4 and I find my factors for 4. Factors for 4 are 1, 2, and 4. I have a common factor. And my common factor is 2. 2 is also my GCF, my greatest common factor. So I can take that greatest common factor and watch this. I can take the greatest common factor 2 and divide my numerator by 2 and my denominator by 2 and watch what I get. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2/4 was not the simplest form that fraction could be in. The simplest form is 1/2. And it's true. 2/4, there's 2/4 colored in, definitely equals 1/2. So we reduced our fraction to lowest terms. And if we look over here, if we take our 6/12 and we follow it out, we did our factor pairs and we found our factors, and we did our other factor pairs and found our factors. We wrote our common factors. We found our greatest common factor, and it was 6. So if we come back up here to 6 and 12 and we divide our numerator by 6, let me just write it right here. We divide our numerator by 6 because that was our greatest common factor, and we divide our denominator by 6. Guys, what are we really just dividing by? What's 6/6? 6/6 is 1, right? And whenever you divide any number by 1, what does it equal? It equals the same thing. 6 divided by 1 equals 6. 100 divided by 1 equals 100. It equals the same thing. That's why we can say that we're just reducing it to lowest terms. It's still going to equal the same. Did 2/4 and 1/2 equal the same thing? It did. So when we reduce, we're just dividing by 1 because we're dividing the numerator by 1, the denominator by 1. 6/6 equals 1. Whether that greatest common factor is 10, and we divide by 10/10, we're dividing by 1. Whether that greatest common factor is 100, and we're dividing the numerator by 100, the denominator by 100, it's still 1 because it's 100/100. Okay? So now, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. We have just reduced our fractions 6/12 to 1/2. Okay? Let's look at 8/20. So for 8/20, we found our factor pairs, we listed out our factors. For 20, we found our factor pairs, we listed out our factors. We wrote our common factors. We found our greatest common factor, and it was 4. So if we take our 8/20 and we divide it by 1 in the form of our greatest common factor, 4/4, 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. And we just reduced 8/20 to 2/5. It equals the same thing. If you were to have the exact shape drawn out and divide it up and colored in those exact parts, it would be the exact same amount colored when it was all done, just like in 2/4 and 1/2. Okay, so 8/20 reduces to 2/5. Here we go, let's look at 9/15. We found our factor pairs for 9, we wrote our factors for 9, we found our factor pairs for 15, we wrote our factors for 15, we listed our common factors, and it was just 3. So 3 obviously is our greatest common factor. So we're going to take that greatest common factor and we're going to divide our fraction 9 by 1 using our greatest common factor as our 1. 3/3. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So 9/15 equals or reduces to 3/5. So that is basically what we are doing today. We are finding our greatest common factor in order to reduce our fractions. So go ahead and get out your math book. Open it to page 71 and 72. Put your name and date at the top, and you may pause the video while you do so. All right, so looking at page 71, section 1, complete this chart. So we have the fraction 8/12. And we're finding our factor pairs for our numerator 8. So our factor pairs is 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Then we're going to find our factor pairs for our denominator 12. So our factor pairs for our denominator would be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. And then we're going to list our factors for 8. So our factors for 8 in numerical order would be 1, 2, 4, and 8. Our factors for 12 in numerical order would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay? Then we're going to list our common factors. What are our common factors? The factors that are in both 8 and 12, they're common. That would be 1, 2, and 4. And what is our greatest common factor? Our greatest common factor is 4. So we're going to take our fraction 8/12, and we're going to divide it by 1 using our greatest common factor to make our 1. Our greatest common factor was 4. So 8/12 divided by 4/4. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. That's our numerator. And 12 divided by 4 equals 3. That's our denominator. So we just reduced 8/12 to 2/3. And 8/12 equals 2/3. Okay? So you are going to do, we'll do letter B together, and then you'll do letters C and D by yourself. I'm excited to see you guys do this. So letter B, our factor pairs, we have the fraction 4/8. Our factor pairs for our numerator 4 are 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. We can go ahead and list our factors now. Our factors for 4 are 1, 2, and 4. Y'all get it? You see that? Okay. For our denominator 8, our factor pairs are 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Our factors are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Our common factors for 4 and 8 are 1, 2, and 4. And then our greatest common factor is 4. Okay, y'all should be filling this in on your chart. So we're going to take our fraction 4/8 and we are going to reduce it, dividing by 1, using what as our 1? Our greatest common factor, which is 4. So we will write 4/8 divided by 4/4 equals 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 4/8 equals 1/2. Okay? So you will go ahead and complete section C and D on your own. You will complete section 2. You're reducing your fractions. Find your greatest common factor and just reduce by 1 or divide by 1 using that greatest common factor as your numerator and your denominator. Okay? And then look at page 72. On page 72, I would like for you to do section 3, letter B. And then you may skip down to section 4. I really want you guys to focus on your reducing your fractions today. So go ahead and skip down to section 6. So you're going to do 3B and go down to section 6 and circle that 6 because I want you to do all of section 6. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. So that's all I want you to do on the back side is 3B and all of section 6. Focus on your reducing and be sure to do really, really well on that, okay? Have fun.